All right. How's that doing? How's that going? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Good. I hope so. It says you can hear me. Hopefully you can hear me whenever you guys start pouring back in. That was so frustrating. I don't know why that was going on. But nevertheless, we're here. We're back. And should be good. And as you guys start pouring in, awesome. Sounds good. We're all good. Awesome. So glad to be back. Guys, welcome back. Let's start this over. What's up, everyone? My name is Dak, and welcome back to another episode of Dak Chats. I am so happy to be back with you guys tonight. Great episode. Had a heck of a lot of fun, and we're gonna let you know right now off the bat. I got my earbud in. We got the feeds going. We got them right over here. So if you don't want, good. I'm so glad to hear that, Studio. Studio says audio is good. But if you guys don't want to know any spoilers for the HOH, which most of you here do care to hear, do want to hear. But if any of you do not want to know spoilers, don't want to know who ends up winning HOH, beware, we will be discussing that once it occurs. I won't say who at this moment yet, but it is already down to 4. So we're not going to be going super late, like I was, kind of hoping, but also kind of not hoping. Yeah, so we're down to 4. So, and this could last a while from here, but, it's not likely to, once we get down to the final 2, usually they cut some type of deal. So we got 4 more, and it just went to Puppy Cam. So that's great. You get such little of these comps that they always promise us on the feeds, and it's already to Puppy Cam. So, which that's just because they haven't switched it from Puppy Cam to just the wallpaper. Anyway, but yeah, guys, so glad to be back. Don't know what was going on earlier. I gotta update this computer because there's lots of stuff left. Okay, so people are asking who's left. I have to go back and look and see. Where was it? Okay, so we currently have Taylor, Joseph, Kyle, and Turner. That's right before feeds cut. So those are our 4 remaining up. I gotta say, I did predict Taylor's my pick for tonight. I do think she's got the best shot at winning this comp because this competition is built for people built like her with her type of frame. Very, very thin, lightweight, not very bulky, whether that's by fat or muscle. And those usually are the type of people that we do see actually win this type of comp. So it's going to be real exciting. I do think she's got the best shot. And at this point is where I'm really starting to pay attention because I was trying to get everything set up earlier. And we just lost one. I think who was that? I think it was Turner. Was that? Yeah, I think it was Turner. Yeah, Turner. So we are down to Kyle, Joseph, and Taylor. And so far, from what I can tell, Taylor looks very comfortable. She doesn't look... And Puppy Cam again. Dadgum. She doesn't look like she's hurting very much. She looks like she's rocking on. So the other 2 guys definitely do not. Yeah, it was Turner. So again, I caught... Now, obviously, I didn't make my bets last night. I should have. I definitely should have made my bets for Taylor last night because that was who I was going for. I was chatting with Tom a little bit today, me and him. He asked me, and that was the first one. I was like, oh, I got to actually think. And I was like, yeah, Taylor for sure. And he also threw out Turner, and I was like, you know what? Those are a couple good picks. I also thought Alyssa was a really good shot at this, but she did not make it very long. Yeah, they are struggling. Taylor's got this. She hasn't officially won yet, but she's gonna win this. I'd be super surprised unless she just slips or something. This is gonna be over here soon. This is gonna be over here. Oh, and Joseph is out. Yep, it's down to Taylor and Kyle. And That's down to those two. And we're about to... Yeah. We're about to get our winner here. Gosh, I wish we could get more feed comps than just the wall, because we all love the wall. It is a favorite, but it's just not... It doesn't last very long. And I think that's why this year they didn't actually tell us ahead of time, like a week in advance, like they have been in seasons past. They're like, oh, go get the feeds, go buy Paramount Plus so you can watch this competition. This is they cut to pets again. There's only 2 left. Why are they cutting to pets? And the other person is struggling. We're gonna miss the drop. We're gonna miss Kyle's drop when it happens, because it's definitely happening. Anyway, so yeah, as soon as that hits, which that'll hit here in a second, trying to not get too distracted by this that's going on, because it's definitely happening very quick. I did expect it to be not very long. I said I wouldn't have been surprised if it ended before the feeds even came up. But with all that being said, it's still ending. It feels like a lot faster than expected. That being said, it's already 9:40. So it's been going on for quite a while. All right. So until one of those 2 drops, which again probably be Kyle. Oh, he's so close. Oh, it's so hard. We keep bouncing back. He's so... If any of you are not watching it right now, he is trying so hard to not fall. It's at an incline, though. Yep. No. Taylor's struggling just a tiny bit. Oh, yep. We have ourselves a winner, folks. Again, if you don't want to be spoiled, now's the time. Turn away. All right. 3, 2, 1. It's Taylor! We have a Taylor HOH! Come on, man! That is awesome, dude. Of all this, dude, we went from week 1, first eviction night. She should have gone home. She should have gone home based on the votes. I mean, she shouldn't have, but she was going to go home. And the fact that this season has turned around so quick, we just had Nicole out, followed by Daniel, who, at least to her face, has been causing the most strife for her. She finally gets Daniel out, has an excellent goodbye message, and sending him out the door. And it is a beautiful poetic justice watching her make it to jury, instantly win HOH. And I don't know that, it's the best decision, but I would love to watch her go after Jasmine this week and just put the poor thing out of her misery, because she obviously cannot make it through any of these comps. So that's something. There we go. There we have it. All right. Well, that was it. Stream over. That was a nice one. Talk to you guys later. Just kidding. We have a whole episode to talk about tonight. So we are going to keep. If I get the volume down, I'm going to keep the feeds on in the background, just kind of watching, make sure nothing eventful happens, because we might as well, and we'll probably start doing that throughout the rest of the season as going eviction night. But yeah, we'll keep them going for now and see if anything interesting happens. And I will give spoiler warnings if anything else comes up that we talk about. But anyway, let's talk about tonight's episode, guys. We had a really great one. It was such a thing of beauty watching Daniel get taken out, and I'm so happy with what we ended up getting tonight. So we start out with Michael. He says that, look, Daniel is the biggest threat to his game right now. He knows that Monty's a big threat to him and the house, but he's working with him. And right now Monty's working with him as in Michael, and Michael would rather work with Monty than against Monty. And he's just not all that interested and turning on him at the moment. And a lot of that did come, as we saw last night, when the other side of the house basically tried to convince him to do their bidding, and he's too smart to see through that and just completely saw right through it. So that was a bit of fun watching how he just kind of shut Daniel down with that. Daniel says, Michael, he just wants to follow the herd, and I can't blame him. He's too scared to make a move. But one day he's gonna realize, he's gonna wake up, he's gonna realize he should have taken out Monty this week, and kept him. And I will say, of all the craziness that Daniel said, it's not impossible. I mean, that is true. Is Lace trending on Twitter? That is awesome. I will have to check that out. You know what? I'm starting to think I made a big stance last night, and I made a big stance saying Lays will not sponsor her because people keep asking for it. I still don't think they will, but I'm coming around to the idea that it is a possibility. I don't see how it would profit them at all, because they would probably wait till after the show is over, and so that way they can get in contact with her directly. But at that point, no one's really going to care. They might see one post, think it's funny, and that's it. Everyone's wanting to get Lays right now and watch as she is eating them as they're watching her eat them on the show. But I'm not, I don't have a degree in marketing, so, what do I know, right? Who knows? Anyway, but yeah, so Lays trending on Twitter. But anyway, Daniel says that, Michael's going to wake up, he's going to realize he made a mistake. And like I was saying, Daniel's been saying a lot of crazy stuff, a lot of stuff that he just doesn't, as someone that claims to be such a super fan, he's really talking out of his butt, and there's nothing to really legitimize what he's saying. This isn't all inaccurate. It is possible that this could happen, because I do see a route where it could have been better for him to go with Monty instead of Daniel. It's possible, but it's really not. It's really not likely. So again, not the most ridiculous thing Daniel said, but also still cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs over here. Daniel is hi Mona. Yeah, Daniel is an embarrassment to super fans. He really is. I had so much hope for this dude going in, and you guys, those of you that have been watching from the first night, from premiere night when we started doing these recaps, I was all in on Daniel. He would have been my winner pick at the moment, and I'm so bummed at how that's turned out. Because I'll be honest, there's a part of me that wants to like him, or at least in the beginning. But he's just such a massive disappointment, and I hate that we got to this position. So there's that. But he says, as the great Dan Giesling once said, "How am I going to spin my way out of this one?" Oh, I wanted to get up and smack. Like, have you ever just seen someone on TV and you just want to smack the crap out of them? Like, we talk about an embarrassment to super fans. Talk about like insulting super fans. No, do not insult Dan Giesling by trying to compare your game to his. And this isn't the first time he does this. It's the only time that it's actually, or it is first time we see it on the episode, but it's not the only time we're going to hear it. He doesn't reference Dan again, but he references some other stuff that on the feeds we know he is talking about Dan, and it angers me. So that he tried to quote that and turn that into making himself hate it. Anyway, Terrence, we hear Terrence talking about how his plans to self-sabotage himself failed. Boo friggity who. He tried to put him, and the likelihood of Monty going out, while yes, he was a big target, you still had to get the entire leftovers to decide that they were willing to throw away their alliance. And I don't think that they would have gotten out. So Terrence probably would have been the one to go home this week anyway, had he stayed on the block. And it's just a mess watching that. So we get back to Daniel. Daniel's talking to Kyle, and he tells Kyle, "Hey, listen, I'm not going to throw you under the bus. I'm not gonna, if you hear me in a corner and you hear your name being thrown around, that's just know that's not me. I'm not talking bad about you. don't expect me to be talking bad about you. And listen, I get trying to be courteous, and you're like, I mean, we're kind of in this position, but don't be like, okay, first off, yeah, that may not have been the route that he was going, was trying to trash Kyle, but he did trash Kyle. He most certainly did that right to Alyssa, which is fine. That's absolutely nothing wrong with that, right? From a game perspective, that's what he should have done. But to just be straight up like, oh, I'm not gonna campaign against you. No, you go up to him and be like, hey man, because the charade's over at that point. You can't pretend. You have to campaign for yourself to stay, which that is campaigning against the other person. So for them to just sit there, God, my hair looks bad. It's all messed up. I showered right before and I didn't fix it. But to try and act like you're not going to campaign against someone, like, why even go through that if you're trying to be courteous, right? Just be like, hey man, it was a tough fight, but it sucks that we're in this position. And, may the best man win. Like, why can't you just do that? Because now it's just going to piss the other person off more, where they're like, well, you said you weren't going to campaign against me, and now I got all these other people saying that you were trying to get Alyssa to flip on me and all this other crap. So that's annoying. But he's mentioning how he basically has figured out the leftovers. Him and Nicole kind of came to that conclusion, and they called it something. I missed the name of it. And those of you that are watching, if you caught the name of it from what he said, let me know in the chat. But it's something 6, like Sinister 6 or something. I don't know. But anyway, something 6, and they just had Kyle was the only piece that wasn't a part of that. We saw that last week with Nicole. Kyle was the only piece that she didn't know was a part of that, and Daniel's kind of come to that realization, and she kind of started to before she was voted out. So they kind of talked a little bit. Before Nicole was gone, so he already kind of had a little bit of help figuring that one out. But he realizes that Kyle is with the other 6, and that there is that group going on. So we get to Turner and the Sorry 6. Was that it? The Sorry 6. Thank you, Robbie. Sorry 6. We get to Turner, and he says that, look, we have the votes to get Daniel out. We can even get him out unanimously. Yes, Sinister 6 is a Spider-Man reference, but I still thought that's what I heard on the episode, so I didn't know. I even thought as I was saying it out loud, I was like, I don't know if they could even do that trademark purposes, but anyway, no, Sorry 6. Wasn't even Sinister 6. I don't know. But you're right, it is a Spider-Man reference. Good job. Bonus points for you. But yeah, Turner says, hey, we can even get Daniel out unanimously if we want to. We have the votes for that, which obviously they fell short, just one as we got to that. But we catch Jasmine talking to Indy, and she says that, look, there's something going on because Monty is a huge threat to Michael's game. So, and just a huge house threat overall. He'd be taking out a big target. So for him to miss that shot, either he's working with him or something's going on here that we're not aware of. And the answer is both, because that kind of, if they're working together, like, obviously, if he's a part of something you're not aware what, they are working together. So anyway, it's both. So yeah. So she's starting to sniff that out, and that's one thing. Initially, the first week, everyone was kind of trying to figure out, like, what's going on with this flip vote. They were trying to figure out what happened with Amira. Pretty much after Amira left, within the first few days, people started figuring something out. Now, it wasn't until about a week later that they really started to have all the pieces put together. And not everyone was initially pulled in even then, but they all kind of have it figured out at this point. So, it's not like it's a big secret. That's the one kind of downfall of the leftovers. And even then, like I said before, it's not really at a point where it really matters that much anyway. There's certain reasons why it would, and we can get into that, but overall, you have the numbers. As long as you stay solid and you don't have that other side getting into some of your people's ear, it really doesn't matter at that point. So yeah, they talk about that. Okay, so we come to we come, what was it? We have a commercial break. We come back and we hear from Melissa, right? And she's talking about how Michael in his HOH basket got some hard cider, and she said that Indy took some and hid it. Now, I took this meaning, because I didn't catch this on the feeds, I took this as Indy stole it from Michael and tried to hide it. But then later, she's very defensive. She's like, there was one more, it was Michael. So I might have missed that. I guess maybe Indy was hiding it for Michael. Maybe I missed that. So if you guys know that and have some of that context, let me know. But basically, Alyssa's like, if I sneak a little bit, then it's okay, right? He's not going to know. So she's a sip, and then she has another sip, and then she has another sip, and then his last hard cider is gone. And it's like, oh man, what happened? But before everyone realizes it's gone, what they realize is that Alyssa is hammered. Absolutely just having a great time, living life. And everyone is loving watching Alyssa loving life. And they're all a little tipsy. And they're having a good time, and she's just going hard, and then Indy realizes, oh, Michael's last drink, it's gone. His cider, that was his last one. That was his. He got that from his HOH basket. Where'd it go? And everyone starts trying to figure out, well, who took it? No one knows who took it. And then Indy says, dude, we had just had a muffin thief, or the muffin man. Muffin thief is on the prowl, and now we got the cider gone. They're like, is it the same person? And then Turner says, hey, look, I wonder who this cider thief is, because now we have someone else, because it wasn't me. I did the muffins, so someone else must have done the cider. And then pretty much everyone realizes, no, it was Alyssa. They ask her, and she's like, "Oh no! Like, did I?" You're like, "Oh yeah, I had one of his drinks, but nah, it wasn't. It wasn't the last one. It was somewhere else. It wasn't in that drawer. It was somewhere else." And yeah, they all see that, and then they say, "Oh my goodness, we just had Muffingate." Got choked up. We just had Muffingate, and now we have Cidergate. And I was taking notes, so I didn't see, but I swear I caught a glimpse of a banner. Was there a banner? Was there a banner that said #Cidergate? Because I swear if there was, this entire thing is just, I mean, obviously Alyssa drank the cider, but this is definitely production trying to break the internet again, as they had just done just a few days ago, or last week. So there's that. So we go from there, and we get Kyle, and he's in the HOH room. He's talking to the cameras, and he tells us he wanted to play with Alyssa, but she went AWOL. She just kind of went off and started doing her own thing, and she started targeting Monty, and not just targeting him, but targeting him hard, and so hard to the fact that everyone in the leftovers knows now, and I just can't continue to work with her, because now my alliance knows she's coming after them and they're going to take her out. I wanted to have both people. I wanted to be able to use the alliance to protect Alyssa, but now I can't do that. Now she's going to be, she's going to put a huge target on my back, and I just can't possibly have that. So he's upset, and I might be mixing this up with another instance, but I'm pretty sure this is also the same conversation that on the feeds, he just starts kind of breaking down, and just crying. He talks about how he just misses his mom, and he mentions how his mom would be so much of a better player than him. She would do so much better. She's so much more better fit for this game, and he just misses her. And then he as we all know, Kyle has a big TikTok following. He does lots of TikTok dances. So he decides that to cheer himself up, he's just gonna start doing a TikTok dance. He just starts dancing. He starts dancing, and it artificially cheers him up, makes him think he's in a better mood. I think he's I really think he's suffering from sleep deprivation too. And listen, I get they're put in this house where we want to see, as I've been saying this whole time now, we want to see how these people just fester up and just how they react when they're in this type of a bubble, right? That's what it's a social experiment. But I am totally fine with helping them get just a little bit more sleep at night, right? Like, I don't like influence. I don't like them trying to artificially do stuff, but we had the same thing with Paloma and now Kyle, and this is not the first time we've seen this in the house. So if they just wanted to, if people, they don't have to just hand them out like candy. They don't have to line it up like in a movie with a psych ward and they're all going and getting their medicine and shit. It doesn't have to be that. But if they're just hey, I haven't slept in a week, can I just get a little bit of melatonin or something? Just help them knock out and just get some rest at night when they're sleeping. I don't know. I feel like it wouldn't hurt for them to just kind of help them out. They all probably could use melatonin and definitely get a little bit better rest. But he's not doing too good right now. So he goes to him and Alyssa are talking, and she comes up and she says, "We can't hang out for a week." JK, haha, just kidding. It's fine. We totally can. Doesn't matter. It's I got whiplash just listening to that 5 seconds. Just the immediate. Oh, we can't do that. Feature back. Sorry. Just wanted to hear that a little bit. Okay, no. Anyway, but she's basically oh yeah, no, we need to chill out. Just kidding. And Kyle's well, maybe we should. Would it be such a bad thing if we did just kind of tone it down a little bit? And Alyssa doesn't like to hear that. She's basically saying, listen, I keep having to go back and forth with him. Most of the time, we're having to pretend that we're not in an alliance, and then it's fine, or an alliance in a showmance, and then the rest of the time it's fine. We don't really have to worry about it. Cut it out there. But she's tired. She's kind of feeling whiplashy too a little bit with it, and she doesn't want to deal with it. Which I get, but you're there. You're not there for showmance. You're there to win $750,000. And if she does not want that money, trust me, I would happily take her spot and try and win that money, and then she can just hang out with Kyle after. Because I would love to have that money, just to better my future and my kids' future and my family's future, and not just go and make out with some dude that I just met 5 minutes ago, when I already have a boyfriend at home. Yeah, whatever. So we go back to Daniel, and he says that there's always a way out. He's sitting and he's kind of moping to himself, and he's he's kind of sitting all on his bed. He's there's always a way out, but you just have to be you'd have to be playing with people that are good at this game to get out. And oh, did I say Monty? If I said Monty, I meant Daniel. Dylan says, I'd like to know his name. If you're talking about Alyssa's other half, it'd be Kyle is the guy that we're talking about. But in the real world, if that's what you're talking about, I don't know. I don't know his name, because we're not together anymore. But yeah, so if I said Monty, I actually meant Kyle or Daniel. Daniel's just chilling in bed, and he's just well, I can. There's always a way out, but you have to be playing with good players, and I just don't have any of those, right? And it's dude, okay, that's totally not the point. There's always a way out. You just contradicted yourself in the same sentence. There's always a way out unless there's not. Is that what you're saying? Like, no, like, it doesn't matter who you're playing with. In fact, the worse the players are, the better likelihood you have of actually getting out of that bad situation. You have a much better shot at actually convincing people to do what you're wanting them to do. So that was, it's frustrating to hear that, but again, it's, what else is new? I lost my spot. He talked about how, he wants to be playing with actual players. And if he actually had real actual players to play with, things would be going a lot differently than the way they are right now. Which, again, it's whatever. He's moping. He's down on his luck, and he doesn't really have much else to say on that. So, is what it is. But Terrence and they're talking, and he says, "Look, we have the votes to keep Daniel." Okay, he says this to Jasmine, and he's just like, "We got to get Alyssa. We got to make sure Alyssa's in." And Jasmine's like, "Dude, Alyssa's not gonna vote out Kyle." And like, what are you talking about? And so they start mentioning how if they can pull in Joseph, they can get those numbers, and they're not too concerned. They think they can pull Joseph in, because Daniel feels like, and we'll hear a little bit more about this, but he feels like, him and Joseph are pretty close, and he can convince Joseph. He can talk him out of it. So we go from there, and Daniel starts talking to Alyssa, and or he starts talking about how he knows that Alyssa is she's gonna be difficult to sway, but he's got to do it. He knows he knows that he needs to do more, so he's gonna try and make this work. And so he goes and talks to Alyssa, and he tells her some info that he feels like she needs to know. That's going to better her in this game. And so he starts going to her and trying to disclose some of this. And oh, by the way, real quick, I just checked. It just alerted me. We're at 69 subs, and I think this is our all-time high at 19 views. Thank you so much for joining the stream, guys. If you're new here, make sure to hit that like, and if you're enjoying it, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We're on our road to our first goal is 500, but we're actually getting pretty close to 100, and I think we'll hit it here in the next week or so. That's the goal, but we're shooting for that. But yeah. So back to the episode. Daniel talks to Alyssa, and he's basically like, "Look, the short and sweetened version of it is there's this whole alliance that's working over here, and Kyle's a part of it. And had I not used the veto on you and Indy, Daniel or Kyle was not going to use it." And she's like, "Wait, you're going to try and tell me that Kyle wasn't going to pull me down?" And he's like, "Yeah, no, he was totally fine leaving you up there." And she's like, "Well, if he's just fine with me sitting on the block, then I don't even know that I even want to keep him around. He was fine if I was leaving, and was going to be totally fine with that. So I'm gonna take him out. Maybe I should. Maybe that's what should I do." And they try and make us think that that's an actual possibility, and it doesn't end up happening. But he goes and he starts talking him, and I think it was him and Jasmine and Terrence are all talking to Joseph, and he's doing all the talking. He basically is like, again, he says, "I know that Joseph's in this other alliance, but I have a good relationship with him. I can pull him in. I'm not worried about that." And so he mentions that to him, and they start talking, and he's basically trying to tell him that, "Look, I can be your weapon. There's this other big alliance that's there. I can be your weapon. Use me, and we can take out Monty, because he's such a huge threat. He's going to be coming for everyone, and it's going to be it's not going to end well for you." So Joseph basically responds to that and says, what are they talking about? They know I'm on the other side of this house. Either that or they're just flat out stupid. So I don't know what they're trying to work here, but it's not working. So we see Daniel's efforts that they come up a little futile, unfortunately. It was a sad ship watching that ship sink, but it's not over yet. We still have one more chance, or Daniel rather still has one more opportunity, one last shot to persuade his house guests live in front of them. He's got one last shot. He gets to make his speech to the rest of the house. So, he stands up and he says, and I'm paraphrasing here, vote me out. Don't matter. You guys are all clowns. You guys all suck. Vote me out. I'm not going to sit up here and try and pitch to you guys, whatever. Just take me out now. And then he says, just know that if you stay around, Michael, if you vote me out, Michael is the best player here. He's already won 5 competitions. He's got all of you beat right now, and he's got a killer social game. None of you guys are even on to him. He's a huge threat. You got to get him out next week. And then after you get him out, then Monty, you got to get Monty out. Because Monty's right up there, right after Michael. He's the second biggest threat. Everyone loves him. He's already won HOH. He's already got himself in a great position. And he's got to be your second target right after you get Michael out. And then he says, if you do end up keeping me, then use me. You can use me. You don't want to take those shots? Use me, because I'll take those shots. You don't got to worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'll take those shots. Keep me. I'll do it. But if you don't, then here in precisely 10 minutes, after this exciting vote and after I get to have this wonderful conversation with Julie, who obviously clearly loves me just like America, we're going to have this extremely warm, heartfelt conversation. After my final word is said, then this season, yeah, it's boring now. It's going to be boring. It's going to be useless. Just shut it down. After my last word is said, it's boring until finale night, because I'll be back. I'll be back for finale night. And terrible speech. I first thing I thought of is he's trying to pull a Dr. Will, which he's trying to gain his footing in this claim of being a super fan, right? But a super fan knows that final speech does nothing. It doesn't. The only purpose it serves is to do what he did and throw other people like Michael and Monty and other house guests under the bus, which is fine, totally fine. Get to that in a second, and it is kind of a Hail Mary, right? You're basically at this point, but if he wanted to do that, he should have said it earlier. And he talks about how, I was full on expecting when he's over here talking about, I'm basically saying he's the next Dan Giesling and trying to figure out what ways he can use to spiral and turn this into something else and get himself out of this situation. I full on expect him to try and start his own funeral, or at least some type of house meeting and some form or factor. And we didn't get that, but he clearly was just shy of this, because if he wanted to make a move like this, the only way it could have possibly worked is you have to do something earlier. You have got to try and make something happen to where you can have some group conversation, and be able to try and get this vote flipped on these people, because waiting until the very last minute is not getting you nothing with that. So anyway, it's just, again, you got people like Daniel claiming to be a super fan that clearly they might have watched a ton of podcasts. They might have read a lot of blogs. They might have watched a ton of YouTube videos on what you should and shouldn't do in this game, but he has not actually studied anything. You can listen to that all you want, but if you're not actually taking it in, meditating on it, and actually trying to relay it to something, and actual action, you're not you're not studying it. And so we have super fans over here that are like, I've been studying this game for 10 years and I'm the biggest fan around. I don't know anyone that knows this game even as remotely as close as I do, as well as I do. And then you have the real super fans over here, like Michael, who wrote his own Big Brother Bible, who is going out and he's winning competitions. And honestly, yeah, his name has been thrown out there a little bit here and there. But honestly, until tonight, there wasn't a ton of people that were really like, oh, Michael's a huge threat, we have to get out, which is insane. Like, yes, his name's been out there, people have mentioned it, but the fact that he's been able to fly under the radar as much as he has, with even, we're still just a few days away from the last veto, so even with just the 4 wins, the fact that he was still as low on the radar as he was for most people is insane. And just goes to show how good of not only his physical game is, because he's winning comps, his social game, because he has that social collateral. People are watching him. They're not watching him. They don't notice what's going on. And also the mental ability that he's able to persuade these people to make these moves without making himself look like a giant threat is truly awesome to watch. So I hate having to see all of this stuff with Daniel, this fake super fan from Daniel, but we're at least getting something great with Michael, and so watching one real super fan get out a very fake super fan was very enjoyable tonight, and I'm very happy to see it. Kyle has a speech, and I don't even listen. I did notice right after Daniel's speech, and he says, "Back to you, Julie," and Julie is just like, "Okay, yeah, thanks. Moving on." I was like, she's just so, like, she does not care. She could not care less. I thought that was funny, but we get to the vote. We have another commercial break. Every single one that we've had this season, I think, has had a commercial break in the middle, which is a little bit annoying to me. Kind of breaks up the momentum, but whatever. We have a vote of, what was it? 10-1? No. 9-1. 8-1. 9-1 or 8-1. And the only vote he gets is from Terrence, which, once I saw Terrence going in there, I was trying to think, I was like, does he actually think that it's gonna do anything to vote to keep him? And then I saw that and I was like, I'm sure Terrence is probably gonna be the one that does vote, because I was trying to think of, like, he really doesn't have anyone that's gonna be willing to throw him a sympathy vote. And then I saw Terrence walking over. I was like, or maybe I guess I could be a little wrong on that one. I just keep forgetting about Terrence because he's just non-existent. And yeah, so that was funny watching that. I was really hoping it was going to be a blowout. It wasn't. So that was a little disappointing to me. But anyway, is what it is. So yeah, we see him go out, and then we see Daniel, and I saw this on the feeds. I think it was today. And Daniel basically said, if I do go out, then I am just booking it straight to that door. And there's no one else besides you, Terrence, that I'm even going to hug and say bye to. And Terrence says, I'm going to be beelining it right behind you, big guy. And just continues to follow them all out. And so we see that happen. And then Daniel almost gets the door. And I'm like, no, you can't leave yet. You gotta give your buddy Terrence a hug. He's following you. You can see him trying to hurry up and get up and follow after him. And he makes it. And then it's like he's trying to make this point of, like, he's just walking straight out, kind of like just trying to be another Cody. Cody, was it Nicholson from 19, as he just books it on out. And he wants to, you can tell so bad, he just wants to be so angry while he storms out. And then right at the end, he's all like, oh yeah, bye everyone. Bye everyone. Cracked me up. And yeah, you could tell. So he comes out and he sits with Julie, and she's still doing the whole, gotta be safe. Can't be hugging. Can't do none of that. which I don't understand. I don't know why they're still doing that. There is no battle back. There's nothing like that they have to worry about. They're not even going. You're not even talking to someone that's going to jury. So unless you're just doing it to keep it even from that perspective, but no one cares, even at that rate. There's no reason to be doing that. I don't feel like. I feel like it's just putting on a charade at this point. And that's not like a hot take or anything. That no one on the cast, are not even having them mask up. They clearly don't feel like it's something to be concerned about. So whatever. That's just what that specific thing. Yeah. So she talks to him and basically, I noticed that Daniel twice, at least from what I could see, got his hopes of a battle back being crushed, and I think it was hilarious. She basically says, you started to suspect that there was a big alliance, and you started to figure out, and now I can confirm that for you. And he's like, oh, great. Yeah, I'm so glad you get to tell me. That means that I don't have to, I'm not going to get in the battle back. And he's probably not even, he's not even really listening. And she's just talking about, this group form. She says the same thing that she said to Nicole and Amira. This group formed, and they formed because of all of the bad treatment that Taylor was getting. Now, she said that it formed just after Daniel blew up on Taylor. That's not right, is it? I'm pretty sure it was the night before that happened where they actually started to form. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that was just slightly too short. But I mean, we're nitpicking at that rate. But she says they formed in huge part due to the treatment of Taylor, and he's like, right on. Oh, that's great. I'm so glad that we had people in the house this year that were willing to stand up to behavior when they saw that there was bad behavior going on. And he says, if I have this quoted, right? I wrote this in my notes. This is what I have. If I've done any wrongdoings, I can't wait to write them. Quote, some guy who calls himself Elvis. I actually tweeted that out. I thought that was hilarious. And yeah, it's like he knows he screwed up, and he knows that he is in a really bad spot, and he's trying to play it off. Props to him. He is playing it off in a decent way where it's like, oh, I don't really care. It's all good, and just trying to let it be. When in actuality, we all know that that is not the case. But anyway, and then the second one was, she says, Daniel, you've waited 10 years to get into this game, to play this game. Says, and you can see it. He's all like, he's getting excited, and she's like, now that shot's gone. So how do you feel? Are you happy? Are you sad? Did you enjoy it? And he's like, oh, yeah, great. I had a great time. Like, you could just see he starts to get built back up again after he's already like, oh, she immediately just shut the battle back down. And then she's like, now you've waited 10 years to get in this game. And it's like, and she didn't even really say anything that should have made him feel that way. He just started very obviously hyping himself up for no reason. And it was beautiful. So that was really fun. And then she basically does what she's been doing, which, is, if I was the house guest, would be very annoying. And if we were talking about any house guests that I actually cared about, I would feel bad, and I'd be like, come on. But I'm really, I'm loving every time she is finishing her conversation with the evicted house guest and just immediately goes, okay, now, I need to talk to your former house guest, and talk about this game-changing move, this game-shattering thing that's about to change the game for them that they're still playing. So just sit right there. Just be real shush. I gotta talk to them. Just be quiet. And I it cracks me up every time we see it because they're just like, okay, yeah, because I totally care about what you're gonna tell them. And I'm not even a juror. It has no impact, no effect on me. So we get back to that, and we cut back to the house, and she says, everyone, come back to the living room. Come on, all one at a time. And we see everyone kind of funneling in there, and then you're looking, and you're like, oh wow, are we missing anyone? I don't think we are. How numbers aren't adding up, and she's over there, kind of counting in her head. And then we see Jasmine, and camera cuts to her, and she's still all the way like just getting out of the bathroom, and Julie's like, don't injure yourself, Jasmine. I'll wait. It's fine. It's not like we're running a live televised production. It's fine. Take your time. Go ahead. With your injured foot that's causing you to take so long. Go ahead. It's fine. Don't hurt yourself. I loved it. And so she gets everyone there, and she makes sure to let everyone know once Jasmine finally arrives and sits. She says, now listen. Now you're used to every week I call you back here, and I've been asking you to make sure you sit next to your bestie. Which, has she? I did, oh yeah, no, she has, because, okay, yeah, she has, because they've been having to pick the next bestie that they wanted to join. So she did do that, but she tells him, but not tonight. No, not tonight. I'm not making you sit with your bestie, because besties are no more. They're gone. And they pan to Kyle, and he's all, what? Oh, this is so insane. We're about to, it's over. Like, dude, you knew, to be fair, they were starting to kind of speculate that it might not end after the third week of doing it. I actually also kind of expected them to go another 2 weeks, because normally they do these twists start of the season, and the majority of the time they last until jury. So I thought they might just end up doing this for 2 more weeks, to kind of throw them off a little bit, throw us off a little bit, and keep it going. And they didn't, and I'm totally happy about. Not sure how happy I am about what else we heard, but we'll get to that in a second. But she also lets us know that so congratulations, you've made it through the bestie twist, which is awesome. It's great for us, great for them. It's awesome. And they say, also congratulations, because you've all at least made it to jury. And hey, again, great, right? I don't want anyone here as a fan, as a real super fan. Okay, I don't want anyone here just playing to get to jury. I want them to play to win. But making it to jury is a big accomplishment. You've made the top 11 if for nothing else, which is great. So yeah, awesome. That's great that they all made it. And she says, now, you guys, you already all got to play in one of BB's biggest fan favorite twists, which is Otev. We did that way too early. Way earlier than we should have. But she says, now, tonight, you get to compete in another fan favorite competition. That's right. You had no idea. You guys, none of y'all guessed it. You had no idea that we were going to be doing the wall comp, but we are. We're doing it. We're going to do the wall comp. You didn't know. You had no idea. It's not like you're dressed for an endurance comp, and we almost always do it as the first week that everyone makes it to jury. You had no idea. Jokesters. And so they do. And she's like, everyone get out. Go. Everyone go. Go start lining it up. Go to the back door. And then she cuts to us. And she says, "Oh, we'll be right back. We got some exciting news to talk about. We'll be right back." So she says, "Now everyone's all the house guests are all lined up on the wall, and we're gonna check back with them here in just a second. But first, we need to tell you guys about this new game-changing twist." And obviously she said something about it just before that. So we kind of knew it was coming, but I as soon as I hear, I'm like, oh my god! And like, you just ended the Festy Bestie twist. Why are we just going straight, jumping into another one? Now, to their credit, they're giving it a week, which great for them, I guess. But they said, okay, next week we're going to have a 2-hour episode. Hey, awesome. Super excited for that. Said, now this is what I took from it. I might be wrong, and I'll let you guys know in a second why I think it's possible I might have misunderstood. But just give us a second. Said, okay, so we have a 2-hour episode next week. Basically, next week, we're going to split the house in two. They're going to be split in two separate groups. Okay, so let's think of this as Survivor Tribes. Because my first thought, any of you that's seen BB Canada, season 9, season 9 was the most of BB Canada I've ever watched. And the only reason I don't watch it much is because I struggle being in the US. I struggle trying to find a way to watch it live as it's airing. But the first 2 weeks of season 9, they had the house split into two teams. Split the house right down the middle. And I think it was like 8 and 8. But they still live together. So what they're saying is that they're taking these two groups and they're going to split them apart. And they're all going to coexist in the house together, but they're not going to be together. So they're not going to coexist. They're all going to be in the house, but they're not going to interact at all. And they're going to do this for a week. And Big Brother is going to be playing simultaneously 2 times at the same time, like twice at the same time. And and she says it's going to culminate in the ultimate double eviction night. I'm not sure how I feel about it, to be honest. From a just watching a show, putting on a show standpoint, it actually does sound kind of interesting. It sounds like it's going to be fun. I know I'm not popular in saying it. I really kind of enjoyed the triple eviction, at least the production side of it. But I will totally trade in the triple eviction for every year that we have a double. It's a 2-hour long double. But what really kind of threw me off is she said that next week is a 2-hour episode, but the double eviction is the week after. So, and she didn't say, that's fine, but did I mishear and they just said that, that next week that they start this twist is a 2-hour, or is it the week after? No, I'm pretty sure it is next week that's 2-hour. So I feel like they kind of have to have the week after also being a 2-hour episode, because I don't know why, like, what did they have planned that's going to make, like, I get, like, they're splitting the house up, so I guess they're going to divide them up and then get the ball rolling then. I don't know. And this isn't the first time they've introduced, like, some type of twist like this, and I go through and I'm like, how are they going to logistically, how is this going to work? How are they going to make this happen? And I've been surprised before. We'll see. We'll see how it ends up. I see it now. It might have already trailed up by the time it hits. I have to take a moment. At the time that I'm seeing this, we currently have 33 viewers. Thank you guys so much. I'm so glad that you guys are all here. If any of you are new, and you're enjoying the video, please hit that like button. It helps us out. And if you're having fun here, hit that subscribe button. We are actually live after each episode. We try and go live 15 to 30 minutes after each episode to discuss it in an open kind of spoilery type of way for the episode, and we also kind of catch up and fill in some of the details of the feeds. So yeah, if you guys are having fun and enjoying it, hit that subscribe button, because we've been here all summer and we're not going anywhere. But yeah, this wow, that's awesome. 28, but still 28 is awesome. That's really cool. But yeah, listen, I don't know how this is going to work out. When Survivor does this whole, when they merge, yeah, twists are usually bad. They're usually bad. When Survivor, because sometimes Survivor does this thing where, you know, most people know the premise of Survivor. You start out 2 tribes, and then those 2 tribes battle for safety, and whoever loses, whichever tribe loses safety that week, the other one goes to tribal council and they have to vote someone out. So their tribal councils are limited to and who they're associating with, who they're playing the game with, and who they may or may not vote out. They're all kind of tied to their tribe, right? But then after a certain point, they merge, and that's fine. The only people that's how the game's set up. But then they merge at a certain point, and the last few seasons they've started doing this thing where they have a competition after the merge, and then they split the tribe up again temporarily just for that one night, and then each group votes out someone else. And at that point, it's like, well, no, we're all one unit now. We're playing as individuals. It bugs me that now the other side doesn't, they don't have a say in the other person going home. That's their kind of solution to kind of having like a double eviction or whatever, which is fine, but find a different way to do it, because I don't like that how they're all supposed to be playing individual games with each other. Now all of a sudden they just lose that ability. Have it before the merge, totally fine with. Get it, love it, that's great. That's how the game is formatted. But after that, they should be able to each have a say in who's going home that week, even if it's a double. They should have a say in you know, the people that are going out. So that's kind of the way it sounds like this is going to go. I'm not super happy about it from that aspect. And I don't think I'm going to change my mind. Who knows? I might change my mind. I've done it before, but I'm not keen to. But besides that, who knows? Who knows how it could play out? It is truly unlike something we've seen before. So they make that claim a lot, and it's usually BS. Sorry, I shouldn't say BS. It's usually crap. And this is one of the first times they've made it, and it's true. They really haven't done anything like this before. So it's exciting to see how it could go down. iPad said it was falling on me here. It's exciting to see how that could end up playing out. I am excited to see what ends up happening, because I feel like it has the potential to, at the very least, be entertaining. At least be entertaining and fun to watch. And you know what? When it comes to double eviction night, again, I'm a purist at heart. When it comes to this game, I care about primarily, the game moves and what's best to allow the game to flow naturally. But I will say I am a sucker for these. Like, this is growing up. Like, this was this was like the meat. This was like the feast. Besides finale night, this was the feast. Was double eviction night. Every season. Get ready. And we knew it was coming. We know a week in advance. Oh, next week's double eviction. And whatever we have going on, we make the best dinner. And we make sure we clear out all our plans. And growing up, my dad couldn't stand Big Brother. He hated watching it. And as I've said multiple times, me and my mom and my grandma, we love watching it. They're what got me started in it. And so we'd always he'd be like, I don't care. And he wouldn't really, he wouldn't do a whole lot to allow us to hurry up and get home. But we were on a mission. We're on a goal. We're trying to accomplish it. and we're not missing double eviction night. And so I love the production of it. It's a big event, and I love watching it go down. I really need to get a clown shoe and frame it and see if I can get Jeff Schroeder to sign it. That's going to be a goal of mine. I'm going to get a clown shoe, and then I'm going to try and find some way to see if I can get him to sign it. We'll see. That'd be a lot of fun to have that as some type of memorabilia to have back here. So yeah, I love double eviction night. So from that perspective, I'm happy to see. I'm happy to see the theatrics of it, right? But we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it ends up. If it ends up, doing anything, I don't know. I mean, it's gonna do something. Whether we're gonna like it or not, who knows? But we're about to find out. So, but yeah, I guess that wraps it up. We already know who won. Who won the HOH comp? So, that's that. But yeah, that recaps our episode tonight, guys. So any of you guys that are new, and I just checked, and we have thank you, Mona. I've been watching, and whether it was your encouragement, I think you may have had a little bit to do with that. We did get 2 new subs, 3 total tonight from the stream. Went from 68 all the way up to, last I just checked, 71. So I'm so happy that we're able to cross that bridge tonight. And thank you guys, each and every one of you that have subscribed, whether you've been here since the beginning or you're just now finding us. And if you are just now finding us and you haven't subscribed yet, by all means, hit that subscribe button. And, like I said, we go live 15 to 30 minutes after each episode, talk about the episode, and then we try and give context from also watching the feeds throughout the week on each episode to kind of catch you guys up on what the edit cut it out and some of the important details that the edit might have missed. But that's that. But we have a lot of comments. So for those of you that are new, though, like I was saying, we tend to try and leave most of our live chat questions towards the end. We kind of go over the whole episode and then review those. So we're going to go until we get through the rest of these comments. So if you do have any other questions, if you have any questions at all, leave them in the live chat, and we'll get to those before we get to the end of the stream. And we did this last week, so I'm going to do it again. And I can only give credit to Tom at TV Talk to Tom, because I did steal this idea. But until I hit 500 subscribers here on YouTube, I can't post in the community tab. So I always let everyone know, follow me on Twitter at DakChats, and I will, that's where you'll get all my updates for the channel. So any of you that follow me before the stream's over, will give you a shout out on Twitter. And I do want to let Eileen know that I did catch that you followed me. So Eileen at 3cats2001, go give her a follow. Go give her a follow over there on Twitter. And any more of you guys that follow me before the episode's up, I'll give you a shout out. So anyway, let's go through these questions again. If you have any questions, put them in the live chat, and we'll get to them before we end. A lot of these we did kind of talk about initially because it was mostly about the winner of the HOH. And Robbie said she was crying. I missed that. Or I kind of saw a little bit of it, but yeah, she was crying in the end of that. Eileen's happy for her. Yeah, I am too. And yeah, Marine, they were cutting the feeds a lot during that. And then we talked about how she was saying earlier that she would go after Terrence. Okay, yeah, that'd be it'd be a safe target, it'd be an easy one for the week. And listen, sorry if I burped in the mic. If we do, with everything that's going on next week, we might as well make it as entertaining as possible and get Terrence out now, and make it even, frankly, even more competitive. I'm interested. I'm interested in what we're gonna get next week. It's gonna be fun to watch. Okay, Eileen. Robbie said Lays was trending on Twitter. Eileen said that you were watching Lays during the episode. If I cared anything about this, probably would, but I don't like regular Lays. I like different flavored chips, and I like all kinds of chips. I mean, if you look at me, you can tell I'm the type of person that likes to eat chips. But I don't typically go for just the plain ones. I go for the seasoned ones, and I don't really care about all the Lay's stuff, as I said earlier. Daniel is an embarrassment. Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, I agree. He's not even close to what a real super fan would be. Let's see. Mona said she had some potato chips as well. Haven't eaten them yet because you're craving fruit. Hey, there you go. Good on you. You know, that's a much better alternative to eating chips if you're going to crave fruit. Again, I can't say that from personal experience, but I do know scientifically, factually, that is the case. Daniel, okay, I agree. Daniel shouting out, Marine says, Daniel shouting out Paloma, gross. I agree. And even then, and his interview with Julie, he started mentioning something about how, Paloma, after I saw the treatment of Paloma from Taylor, which again, we've heard that excuse before, but I straight up thought he was going to say something like after the way she drove Taylor to self-evict. And at that point, I was really hoping that, Julie was going to say something like, actually, Daniel, no, we don't have any reason to believe that anything Taylor said caused Paloma's exit. I was hoping to get something like that, and we didn't. But that's fine. Yeah. So there's that. All right. But yeah, I agree. I hated hearing him just saying it in the beginning. Mona says production needs to take several seats with the numbers. I can't remember what we were talking about when you said that, and I don't remember. I'm not quite sure what that was in reference to. So remind me if you're still there. Remind me, and we'll touch back on that. Happy One 2017 says everyone feels guilty for Taylor, so that's why they all voted out Daniel. I think so, and I don't think that's all of it, but I do think that does play a part in it. And other people have started to realize that this is not what everyone thought it was. And she is not the cause of all evil. And people should, feel bad for treating someone poor. But yeah, they're all pretty much starting to realize that, except for maybe Jasmine. Jasmine's still talking crap. But besides that, there's really no other reason to believe that they're not all at least feeling some type of guilt. Happy One said Michael was in a final three with Taylor. Yes, that's true. That I do think that final three has the strongest probability to survive. They're the tightest unit right now. So I mean, it would. I don't see Taylor turning on that at all. So Michael and Brittany should be safe. I'm telling you, don't get me wrong. I am enjoying watching Taylor. I'm enjoying watching this come back, and I am beyond happy to see this result. I don't I'm still rooting for Michael more than anyone right now. But it'd be awesome to see Taylor get to the end, and I would love the poetic justice that we would get from that. So yeah. Marine says, watch Jasmine act like Taylor is best friend. Yeah, I agree. I haven't really been watching much yet from the feeds, but I would not be surprised if we've already starting to see some of that go down. Yep. Where we go? Mona says, yeah, she's already definitely going to act that way. Yeah, I'm expecting to see that as well. Yeah. Yeah, Mona hasn't won. Yeah, because Mona, you're on the West Coast. Yeah, and huge shout out to Mona because she's she's putting in the work and she's been a huge help and support and encouragement to this channel. And she's not even watching the show. Like, she's on the West Coast, so she is watching the stream before she even sees the episode. So big shout out to her. Really appreciate Mona's effort and hard work helping support this channel. You say you remember when you were old enough that self-awareness was a thing. Daniel apparently never had it. And I think a part of it is just you get like, I wouldn't say I feel bad for Daniel. I can definitely kind of feel for the position he's in because I think that he just kind of went with what Paloma and Jasmine were saying. Because obviously we know in the beginning he liked Taylor. He was a fan of Taylor's. They were friendly, and it wasn't until Paloma and Jasmine really kind of started hating on her that changed a little bit for both him and Nicole, and so it really is. I think he got caught up in that and didn't realize it, and then same kind of thing. He started believing other people's lies, believing his own lies, and he very clearly was believing the narrative that best suited what he wanted and what he believed already. So there was already something there, but I said, this dude, I don't know if his whole life is ruined, but it's going to be tough for him getting out. And I don't feel bad. I feel for the position he's in, because it is, even if he does actually is truly like, if he's truly sorry and does want to like make up for what happened, it's a cutthroat world, and you've been canceled, buddy. Pretty much. So I don't know that his job would be in jeopardy. Someone else pointed out the fact that if he's when he's doing his Elvis shows, people aren't going to see Daniel as Elvis. They're going to see Elvis. So no one even really knows who it is that's behind the mask, but it is what it is. But yeah, I don't feel bad. I feel for the position he's in. It does suck, but I mean, maybe learn to be kinder to people, I guess. Marine says Jasmine is so up Taylor's butt right now, acting all happy for her. Yep. Surprise. And then Robbie and Marine both remind everyone to hit that like button. Yeah. Always super helpful, super appreciative to the stream. We always appreciate that. ATF. Hey, ATF. What's going on, buddy? ATF Media says, do you think Alyssa or Indy is more likely to take it in the back? I don't know. I won't comment on that because that's up to them and whether or not they would want that. From a game perspective, do I think it's more likely that they themselves are backdoored? No. I don't know. Who knows at this point? It doesn't look like it'd be really worth it to backdoor them. I'll probably get carried fairly far along without that. Marine says, I think Joseph is seriously injured. He's walking kind of funny. I haven't seen it. I had it on, as you guys know, this whole time, but I haven't really been paying attention to it. And 21 likes only. Hey, we're happy to have all the likes that we can get. We always encourage everyone, if you're enjoying the stream and if you're watching after the fact, you're enjoying the video, we ask you to hit that like button, but we'll take what we get. So no big deal there. Mona says hi to ATF. Yeah, and Mona mentions how we had 27 watchers. We did. That's currently, right now, we're back to 27. And again, just so glad all of you guys are able to join the stream. It's a lot of fun. And we're still getting a few more people. So again, if anyone that's watching for the first time here, we're going through the questions at the end of the stream. So if you have any questions for me, drop those in and we will answer those before the stream ends. Okay, Zoomdo says, hey, what's up, Dak? Mona says the twists are usually bad. Mona then said, BB doesn't need to be Survivor, and Survivor needs to think about itself as well. We can discuss that later. Yes, I will agree with that. They don't need to try and... They serve two narratives. And yeah, people always talk about, when they try and describe Big Brother, they're like, okay, think of Survivor, but like in a house. Which... I mean, as the most basic general premise, I get why people would describe it that way, but it's not accurate. It really isn't. And I don't know if he's still here, but my buddy Dylan, he's a huge Survivor fan. He's only ever, to my knowledge, he's only ever watched one episode of Big Brother, and that was Baby 16 when I tried to force him to watch the first one, and he kind of got it. But even for him, if he's still around, I'm sure he would attest to it. Trying to take Survivor and comparing it to Big Brother, he still had no idea what was going on. So it's very much not accurate, and it's not the same game. They need to make their episodes more, or sorry, they both need to make their shows more specific to what their games are, and just, be what it is. And yeah, stop trying to, I mean, you can take aspects from each individual, thing and see how can, is there a way we can try and find a way to implement that if you saw it work, but you have to make it fit. You can't force a square peg into a triangle. It's just, or a square peg into a circle, right? It's not going to go. You got to make sure, okay, well, it looks appealing. It could potentially work, but will it? And most of the stuff won't, because it was designed by the other game to fit their game. Now, whether or not it was a good fit for even the game it was designed for, that's a whole other conversation, because most often it's not. But if it doesn't work for that, it probably isn't going to work for a game that it wasn't designed for. So I could rant about that all day long. Zoomdo says, can we have an episode dedicated to Lucifer Diamond? Lucifer Diamond is something. Zoomdoof is another friend of mine. That's something that happened many years ago, and I don't have the slightest idea as to how I would dedicate anything to it. I don't even have those videos anymore. But whatever. Production. Mona says production just stopped with the hashtags and the lays and the muffin, etc. That's what I meant. Oh, okay. Yeah, I agree. I don't mind the hashtags per se. Just because I do feel like it does offer more audience participation just from a narrative sense, not from a gameplay sense. No one outside of the house or the people designing the challenges and designing the twists or whatever, no one outside of there should have any say in how the game is implemented. But getting the viewers at home, kind of getting them drummed up in the viewership of it, and getting the attention from it, I don't mind that. But when they're pushing these segments, it just, for me, and I know that they have to have that because they're trying to attract new players. People that have never watched the show before, they don't care about all this extra stuff that's going on. They don't care about the gameplay because they don't understand it. So I get that. So we do have to put up with it a little bit, but stop forcing, just stop forcing stuff. Like the lays, yeah, it did kind of happen organically, but they just drove it into the ground. The Muffin Gate was only funny because Turner made it funny. If Turner had not made it funny, it would not have been very enjoyable for most people. Cindy Lou says, Terrence had the house in uproar today because he said domestic abuse victims are at fault for returning to their abuser. That is a heavy-handed topic there. I did not catch that. I tried tuning into the feeds a little bit today to kind of see some of the post-eviction kind of. I just love watching them get ready for the live show and everything. I think it's fun to watch that. Almost kind of like getting to see a little bit of behind the scenes stuff. But when I first tuned in, they were already in lockdown, so I didn't really get to watch much. I haven't heard anything about that. I will say that's not accurate. Like, not that he didn't say that. If you're saying he said it, I'm sure it happened. But the statement that he made is not accurate. That's by the absolute least. That's a whole conversation for another topic for another type of channel, because that's not this. But that is not true. Just straight up. And that's all we'll say. ATF says, which person on the show is most likely to have cooties? I'm guessing Turner, or at least he's more likely to have fleas. No, ATF, you're wrong. I guess if you're talking about people currently that are still in the house, sure. I could see the fleas coming from Turner. Poor guy. But just all of the cast all together, dude, Pooch has the cooties. That's where the cooties are. Pooch has the cooties. Crazy Matt says, why would you go back after being the victim of DV seems done to me? Again, we're not going to comment on that. That's a whole nother conversation. And you know, if you don't have any experience in dealing with that, and you're not like I get coming from that perspective, but unfortunately, that's not how personalities work. That's not how the brain works, and it's not as cut and dry as that. So it's a really unfortunate situation. And Mona asked Cindy if that was true. Mona says that they kept cutting the feeds, but Jasmine repeated what happened. And yeah, that is unfortunate that we had to deal with that. Man. All right. Well, it's kind of a more somber note than I wanted to end the stream on tonight. But we're going to leave it there, folks. We're going pretty late. It is 11 my time, and we've been gotta get ready for work tomorrow. So we're going to end that now. Thank you, everyone, for joining the stream. And huge shout out. When we started this stream tonight, we were at 68 subscribers, and we're up to 73 subscribers, and we hit an all-time peak, the largest number. And if I'm getting this wrong, I do apologize. The highest count I saw tonight was, I think, 33, maybe 34. So thank you guys so much for coming and joining the stream tonight. Thank you to everyone that subscribed. It really, truly means the world to me that we were able to hit those numbers tonight. That's crazy to me, and I'm super appreciative of that. Like I said earlier, if you haven't already, make sure to follow me at DAC Chats. That's where you'll get all my channel updates for the time being. And yeah, it's going to be a fun week, seeing how this plays out. And all of next week, like this week is going to be fun, but next week, I'm going to say it's probably at least going to be fun. Now, whether it's enjoyable from a game perspective, who knows? But just watching from a production standpoint, I'm ready to see what happens. Mona says, but production should not try to force the hashtags. Yeah, I mean, I see what you mean. If they see something that's kind of naturally, organically happening, and they kind of want to arrange it, I don't mind if they're just trying to push something that's already there. But yeah, I don't like them just kind of making stuff up. And making, because they will just kind of make situations up and make things happen that just didn't. But yeah. All right, guys, we're gonna end it there. Again, thank you so much to everyone that watched, and we will be back Sunday. I know we missed last Sunday, but it's the first one we missed, so don't count on that being a thing. If you're here, you enjoyed, you had fun, come back Sunday. Again, 15 minutes to 30 minutes after each episode is when we go live to recap the episode. And we have a lot of fun here, as you guys have all seen. So thanks, everyone, for joining. And we will see you Sunday. Have a great night.